Hey folks, time again to do some retro CSS battles. These are daily targets from May of 2024. This is May 4th, and that's May 5th, and that's May 6th of 2024. Let's go for it. Let's try the nested template for this guy. I think that's going to be interesting. I think what I want to do is use margins here to set the stripe in the middle with this guy. Yeah, so if I set margins, I can get that middle stripe. And actually, I can do border, inline, solid, this color, I think. Solid 30 pixels, something like that. All right, and then if I narrow this more, I can get that first part. All right, 1, 10, 20, 30. Used to be a little narrower, so I'm gonna undo this background. It's a little, make it a little easier to see, just a little easier. 35, 140, 141, 142. All right, and then make that, is it 20 pixels? And that's part one. All right, and then, so that's on the body. That's effectively on the body tag, and this here will be the overall HTML element. So radial gradient, and we need it to be a circle. So we need that keyword circle, otherwise it will modify itself to the shape of the element. And I think this is a circle in the background. Let's do 50 pixels of the light color. We'll do the red color. That's some other number. And then we need the light color again. And then we need the color. Now, interestingly, we have a repeat happening here. I think because of the weird margins. So if I need to set this to 400 pixels wide, maybe, or put it at 0, 0. And then, there we go. And then do maybe auto. No. 100 view width, maybe. And then I get it. So I still don't quite understand the dynamic that happens there with the nested template, using it the way we are. But it doesn't matter at this point. Set a color stop and see. There we go. Hopefully get this sizing right. Oh, and it looks like we're not centered. So that's kind of interesting. So I think I need it at 50% for pixels. 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks right. 25, 80. Set some more color stops. And those are radial gradient color stops. I can use my unit replacement plugin and change some of those. I'm going to submit this and see if I get 100% match. Sometimes with the nested template, I don't get 100% matches in Safari. Yeah, so like that. So that's saying I have a 66% match. So there's something desperately, terribly wrong with what I've got right now. So we're going to not do nested. And instead, we'll create an element and undo this nested template business. All right, so there, and if we get to a height, we might have it. And sort of we do. So if I do margin of 0, yeah, margin 0, 142. So I can reuse that same code and almost have it right. 140, 150. There we go. Yeah. So I think this also means that I can remove that stuff. So now I have a consistent look and feel, and it works in Safari. A lot of solutions that I see CSS battlers use don't work in Safari at all, and I actually think that probably Safari's doing the right thing in terms of how this code is written. This is one of the reasons that I dislike writing code that doesn't look the same in all the browsers. Like, as much as I would love to, make this code unreadable and much shorter and be, the #1 player on the planet, that's not going to happen for me because I just don't view that as quite as useful. This might be an excuse for me not being the top player on the planet. That's fine too. I know I'm not in it for that. I'm actually in it for the fun of it for me. It's a lot of fun to do these, as you see. All right, so that's minification. I think that I can make body into ampersand. No, I can't. Yeah, that's fine. Let's submit that, and that's a completed puzzle. That's a fun one. I enjoy. Oh, and then that's telling me that I get a higher score than I've gotten in the past. All right, let's do the next one. Let's do it light. Who knows? I don't have strong feelings about light mode, dark mode. I do try to provide it on sites that I build for people, but I tend to be a light mode person. It's possibly because of my age, but I don't know. There are people who really love dark mode, and that's cool. All right, let's get to it. I feel like what I've been saying lately is that I love, for triangular things like this, I really appreciate clip paths. I think I'm going to not do that today. I might try. What do we try? What if we do order? So let's. What are these elements? So making a decision about what the plan is, I think, is good here. All right. First step. I want to make. So I think that there's the background we're going to have be pink, and for the margins we're going to do nothing here and put margins on the element and do 60 0. So what I'm going to do is border solid and then border color is going to be that color, and then border width, I'm going to do like 100 or 40, 50, 20, and let me put the background in place, and then you can kind of see what I'm building there. So let's adjust our margins. 70, 100, 20, 30, 35, 37. I think that what that's showing us is that we're not going to quite be able to do what I was thinking. I was thinking that I'd be able to create this shape all on its own, and I think that that's not going to be a good approach. So, be that as it may, I think that the next step, then, we gotta abandon that. That's fine. However, I can do, what can I do? I can do, how about 0, 2020? That will get me that. But that still leaves me with the problem of the rest of it. So is this a good approach? Maybe not. What are you gonna do? All right. Let's see how much of this we can get into place. I think this height is wrong. 20, 20, maybe 30. All right, 400, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then the height. If I set the height correctly, 50. All right. So now we got that. We don't have a lot. Not really, unfortunately. I guess I could use a box shadow, which is sort of goofy. Box shadow. 0 minus 30 pixels to do the top there. That sort of works. Again, kind of goofy. So this is what we've got so far. All right. So what do we do about that triangle? How about we do a conic gradient? And as I often do, conic gradient is misspelled. We'll do from 135 degrees. %, of the dark color, and then that color there. That's how you get a triangle. And then if I put that at the top and give it 100% width, and then give it 40 pixel height, you can see what it does there. But what we want is 100 pixel height, I think, and then no repeat. So there's a triangle, right? If I move this down, it kind of works. So let's make this a little taller. So 120 pixels tall is what it is. And then set an at value. Again, this is getting more and more elaborate, which is usually kind of a code smell. 5, 6, 7. Be that as it may. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then 26, 27. Let's make that 91 degrees. 92 degrees, 93, 94, 95, 96. That's fine. And repeat X is one character better. So let's do a linear gradient now, which is going to be pink at this top, 60%, and then the light pink. Oh, and I guess we need light to begin with. So we need color stop. $40, $45, $46, $47, $48, $49, $50. All right. And then this is 55 maybe? 55%? No. Oh, it should be 70. Something like 70 maybe. No. 65. Let's submit that. I think we've got a little bit of a dip there. Yeah, we do. 7. 66, 67, 68, 67, 66.6. So 66.6. This is not great code. Probably a better approach would be anything else. I could think of other ways to do this, but it is 100% match, so we're going to go with it. This is a fun one. Lots of different ways to do this. Highly encourage you, if you get that pro account. Oh, and then I clobbered it with a color stop here. Let's resubmit that. And then we're done with that guy. All right, great. All right. Oh, and this guy, I love this guy. I think I've done this a few times. I don't think that I'm going to be able to beat my prior. Definitely one where I want to do it all in the background. So the first thing I want is I want a conic gradient that's this light color, 25%, and then blue. So that's that. And I gotta size it. It needs a height and width, and that's how you get that repeat. Now, it is hard to reason about these things unless you set no repeat, because you can get lost very, very easily. So let's move it over and down. And we want to align it perfectly with one of these. And so 40-40 looks like it's going to be correct, and it needs to be taller. And that's too tall, 1.5. See, what we're trying to do is we're going to align it with where it repeats. So 160 pixels tall looks correct. It's not 50 pixels wide, 50, 55, 60 pixels wide. And then we need to change the center of that conic gradient. Again, this is a conic gradient, and if we change the center of it, we need to do that with an at. So at, I'll start with a ridiculous number, 20 pixels, 20 pixels. You can see what that looks like. So it needs to be over more, 30, 40, and then how about 50 tall? Just a little bit difference there. Oh, and it looks like I misjudged, so it needs to be over even a little bit more, 60. Okay, and then 60 down. And now when I let it repeat, I should get those guys. There it is. So that's, you know, where does it repeat? Where are the edges of the repetition? And that looks like we're in pretty good shape there. So what's next? I think we can set this to be transparent. And then do a linear gradient from blue and then have it be 100% or be at 0, 0. 100% wide and then 100 pixels tall, and then we get stripes. Maybe it's 200. How tall does it need to be? 1.7, 1.8, 1.7, 1.6. That looks right. So this needs to be what, 90, 85, 86, 87, 88. Is that correct? It's not quite right. How about 100 Q? We'll do some Q values. 3, 4, 5, 49, 48. making that linear gradient be 1% wide because it's just the shortest amount of code. And that is a match. So let's minify unit replace. I think that that's it in terms of changes that I want to make here. I could play with Q values here. Oh, one thing. So the width of this is 60 pixels, and I've got 60 pixels here, so I can just make that 0, and that will work. Some folks use plus signs to separate, to make it clearer what they can minify. I just leave the spaces usually. It's fine. Okay, let's resubmit, and then we're done. This is, once again, from May of 2024. Continue my project to do all these CSS battles and do videos for them. Let's see. So yeah, so that's the 5th. No, that's the 4th. That's the 5th, and that's the 6th of May 2024. Reading the date wrong. All right, that's cool. I hope you enjoyed this. I guess I'm promoting myself. If you watched this today, you might have seen me post on Blue Sky or on Mastodon. If not, that's fine. You just stumbled upon it, that's fine too. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're having a great day. Go make a web page. Web pages are awesome. HTML and CSS are learnable. They don't have to have code that looks like this. I don't know. Take care.